My name is Kendrick, and I played the role of Joan Wright.
I'm Matthew Morrison. I'll be bringing to life the character of Mr. Peters.
My name's Emma Dillard, and I'm playing the role of the sheriff.
I'm Tupelo, and I'm playing the role of the county attorney.
I'm Shiley Smith, and I'll be playing Mrs. Hill.
My name is Jonah Fox, and I'm playing the role of Mr. Hale.
Oh, his meat, it did freeze. He was worried about it turning cold and not freezing.
Well, can you beat the man? Held for murder and worrying about his chicken?
I guess for we're through, he may have something more serious than meat to worry about.
Well, men are used to worrying about their trifles.
And yet, for all their worries, what would we do without the gentleman? Dirty towels. Not much of a housekeeper, would you say, men?
You know, there's a lot of work to be done on a farm.
To be sure. And yet, I know there's some Dixon County farmhouses which do not have such roller towel rolls.
Well, you can't blame them. Ladies' hands aren't exactly as clean as you'd think.
Ah, low to your sex, I see. But you and Mr. Wright were neighbors. I suppose you're friends too?
Well, I liked him well enough, but I hadn't seen him in a year, so I hadn't really been around this way in about that long.
And why was that? You didn't like him?
No, I liked him well enough. Farmers have their hands full, Mrs. Henderson. But there was that one thing.
Yes?
Well, it never really seemed like a very cheerful place.
No, it's not cheerful. I shouldn't say you had the homemaking instinct.
Well, I don't know as Mrs. Wright had either.
You mean they didn't get on very well?
No, I don't mean anything like that, but I don't think a place would be any more cheerful for Minnie Wright being in it.
I'd like to talk more about it later. I want to go get a late thing upstairs now.
I suppose anything Mr. Peters does will be alright. He was to take in some clothes for him, you know, a few little things. We left in such a hurry yesterday.
Yes, but I'd like to see what you take, Mr. Peters, and keep an eye out for anything that might be of use to us.
You know, I'd hate to have women coming into my house, snooping around and criticizing.
Of course, it's no more than their duty.
Well, duty's alright, but I guess that deputy sheriff that came out to make the fire might have gotten a little of this on. Wish I thought of that sooner. Seems mean to talk about him for not having things all slicked up when he came and we had to take him away in such a hurry.
He had a barbecue pit.
He's gonna put this in there. It's a shame about his chicken. I wonder if it's all gone. Maybe some of it's okay. I think I might be able to rinse it off. You know, it's a shame about all that meat. I remember all the time I spent getting my chicken and brisket and steak already in the hot weather. Hopefully we can salvage some of this.
Yeah. I must go get these things from the front room closet. Mr. Hill, will you come with me? You can help me carry them.
Wright was close. Maybe that's why he kept so much to himself. He didn't even belong to the country club. I suppose he felt he couldn't really do his part, and then you don't really enjoy things when you feel really shabby. He used to wear fancy clothes and be lively when he was a young John Wright, but he was one of those town boys singing in the choir, you know. But that was 30 years ago. This all you want to take into him?
He said he wanted a suit coat. Funny thing to ask for, but there isn't much to dress up for in jail, goodness knows. But I suppose just to make him feel more natural. He said they was in the rack in the closet. Yes, here. And then his baseball cap that always hung behind the door. Yes, here it is.
Mr. Peters?
Yes, Mr. Hale.
Do you think he did it?
I don't know.
Well, I don't think he did, with all this wondering about his shirt and pants and suit coat and favorite baseball hat. Yeah, I don't think it was him.
Mrs. Peters says it looks awful bad for him. Mrs. Henderson is awful sarcastic when it comes to speech, and she'll give him heck for not waking up.
Yeah, I guess Minnie Wright didn't wake up when they was slipping that rope around her neck.
No, it's strange. It must have been done awful crafty.
Yeah, Mrs. Hale says it's really strange too, with there even being a gun in the house.
Mrs. Henderson said, coming out, that she was needed for the case and was a motive, something to show anger or sudden feeling.
Well, I don't see any signs of anger around here. You know, it seems kind of strange, sneaking around, you know, trying to get this man's own house to turn against him while he's locked up in town, coming out here and, you know.
But Mr. Hale, the law is the law.
I suppose it is.
He was building a table.
Huh. You know, I wonder if he was gonna stain it or leave it unfinished.
I wonder if he was going to stain it or leave it unfinished.
Man, Frank's fire didn't do much up there, did it? Well, let's go to the barn and get that cleared up.
You know, I don't know that there's anything so strange or taking our time with little things while we're waiting for them to get the evidence. I don't see as, you know, it's anything to laugh about.
Of course, they've got awful important things on their minds.
Mr. Peters, look at this here. Here's a spot he was working on. And look at that sanding. All the rest has been so nice and even. And look at this right here. It's all over the place. Why? It looks as if he didn't even know what he was doing.
Well, what are you doing, Mr. Hale?
Oh, I'm just, you know, just fixing a spot or two. That sanding always made me a little fidgety.
I don't think we ought to touch such things.
I'll just finish this and then I'll be done. Mr. Peters,
Yes, Mr. Hale.
what do you suppose he was so nervous about?
You know, I don't know. I don't know, as he was nervous. I sometimes sand awful queer when I'm just tired. Well, I must get these things wrapped up. They may be through sooner than we think. I wonder where I can find a suitcase.
Maybe in that closet over there.
Well, look here. Here's a cat cage. Did he have a cat, Mr. Hill?
Well, I don't know whether he did or not. I've not been here for so long. You know, there was a man a couple years ago going around selling kitties real cheap. I don't know, maybe he got one. Maybe he didn't. He used to really always like cats.
Well, it seems funny to have a cat here, but he must have. I mean, why else would he have a cage? Do you know what happened to it?
Suppose the dog got it.
No. He had that feeling about dogs, being afraid of them and all. Being afraid of them and all. You know, my dog got after him the other day, and he just went ballistic. I mean, he does not like dogs.
My sister Bessie was like that. She didn't like dogs either. Queer, isn't it?
Well, look at this door. It's broke. One hinge is pulled apart.
Huh. Somebody must have been rough with it.
Why, yes.
I wish if they're going to find any evidence, it'd be about it. I don't like this place.
But I'm awful glad you came with me, for I'd be lonesome without you.
It would, wouldn't it? But I tell you what I'd do, Mr. Peters. I wish I had come over sometimes when I was here. I wish I had.
But you were awful busy, Mr. Hill, with your house and your kids.
Yeah, but that's exactly why I should have come. I stayed away because it weren't cheerful and I should have come. I never liked this place. Maybe it's because it's down in a hollow and away from the road. But I wish I would have come over to see John Wright sometimes. You know, I can see now.
Well, you mustn't reproach yourself, Mr. Hill. Somehow, we just don't see it how it is with other folks until something comes up.
Not having children makes for less work and a quiet house. And Minnie out to work all day and no company when she did come in. Did you know Minnie Wright, Mr. Peters?
not to know her. I've seen her in town. They say she was a good woman.
Yes, good. She didn't drink and kept her word as well as most, I guess, and paid her debts. But she was a tough woman, Mr. Peters. Just to pass the time of day with. Her, like a raw wind that cuts to the bone. Should think she would have wanted a cat. What do you suppose went with it?
I don't know, unless it got sick and died.
You weren't raised around here, were you? You didn't know him.
Not until they brought him yesterday.
Come to think of it, he was kind of like a cat himself. Real gentle and patient, but kind of timid and reserved. How he did change. Tell you what, Mr. Peters, why don't you take some of his tools in with you? I'll get the toolbox.
Well, I think that's a real nice idea, Mr. Hill. There couldn't possibly be any objection to it. What should I take, though? The hammer? The screwdriver?
Well, I'll get the suitcase and we can pack all these things up.
Sounds great.
You know, this thing smells a little funny. I wonder what it is.
It does smell weird.
Oh my!
It's the cat.
But look at its neck. It's the other side too.
Somebody
Wrung its neck.